KOIN 6 News this morning starts right now with this weather alert.
Now at 4:30, downgraded but still very dangerous and potentially deadly. You're looking live at the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Now right now, Hurricane Florence is a Category 2 storm. While the winds have slowed a little, this storm could dump 3 feet of rain in some places. And the biggest concern at the moment is the size of the storm surge that could be more than 13 feet.
You put your life at risk by staying.
We're getting started on another full day of tracking a torrential storm with millions of Americans in its path. Florence is closing in on the eastern seaboard as we speak. It could hammer the region for days. That's right.
Meteorologist Kelly Barron has been tracking this monster storm for a week now, and she joins us with the up-to-the-minute models. Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. And the good news is that this hurricane did downgrade to a Category 2, but we will still see very strong winds pushing in as early as later today, even tonight. Hurricane force winds slamming the coast, so not expected to make landfall fully until Friday early morning, but we will start seeing effects as early as today. So that storm surge, the biggest issue, we'll see a massive wall of water pushing towards the coast, and that's the storm surge, up to 13 feet in some areas along the coast of North and South Carolina. So again, we'll be watching this storm. Winds right now, again, sustained around 110 miles per hour. For our region, starting off, cloudy skies and very foggy out there for some areas of the Portland metro. Temperatures staying in the mid-50s this morning. By the afternoon, in the upper 60s. We'll still keep a chance for scattered showers out there. More of my full forecast in just a bit. Back to you guys.
Sounds good, Kelly. Thank you. All lanes of I-5 through downtown are back open this morning after a crash caused some big problems late Wednesday night.
Elise Haas joins us with more on what happened and the overnight efforts to clean up that mess. Elise.
Well, that's right. It was a mess last night, guys, when a truck lost its load on the highway, forcing ODOT to close down lanes and, of course, causing significant backups. So around 8 o'clock last night, a semi-truck lost its load of steel beams on southbound I-5. This happened just right under the Morrison Bridge. And police tell us the load of steel beams was not secure. So the driver may be cited. But check out this video. Crews used a crane to then load the beams back onto another truck. Only 2 lanes of southbound were open as crews worked to clean up this mess, but the good news is that crews did clear this out last night and all lanes of I-5 are back open, so you won't have to worry about this on your morning commute. Reporting live in Southeast Portland, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, that is definitely good news. Okay, thank you, Elise. That situation will not make a mess of your commute, as Elise just said. But before you head out the door this morning, make sure you check out Carly Kennelly's live traffic reports. They start on air and online at 5.
Well, Mother Nature made a big mess in some places around the metro area yesterday as fast-moving storms dumped a lot of rain in a short amount of time. We're going to check back in with Kelly in a bit with more on how much rain actually fell. But first, reporter Jennifer Dowling shows us how much damage was done.
When the streets flooded at Northeast 28th and Flanders, it sent people in the path of the rising waters scrambling.
It was insane. It was very intense.
At Poison's Rainbow Bar, Lee Ellis says water rushed into the bar area first, then started filling his kitchen.
It was up to the ankles. It was kind of like water road, crazy stuff.
He showed us video that he captured on his phone of the water flooding into the restaurant.
It was crazy. It was just like rushing in. It's like leaves and stuff started coming in. And water started coming into the kitchen, and then the whole restaurant. And the manager came back and he was like, yeah, the whole restaurant's flooded.
The only dry spot was behind the bar.
We actually all huddled behind the bar because it was like a safe haven. So we so the water, there's like some mats back. It's like a little bit more elevated.
Definitely up to the rubber baseboard. So my guests were just keeping their feet above the stool.
Owner Kelly Godell says the bartenders kept patrons happy with some free food and drinks as they perched on the stools, keeping out of the ankle-deep water.
I've never seen anything like this, ever. So this is crazy.
Kelly says some of her outdoor picnic tables and chairs washed away. She blames clogged gutters for the chaos.
I think that for Oregon, we're so used to having an Indian summer, and we usually have such nice weather through September. So I just think we were not prepared and maybe not ready for this kind of torrential downpour.
She says once the street drains were clear, the water subsided. And the cleaning began.
I have an amazing staff, and everyone is helping me clean it all up.
It was pretty scary at the time, but now it's finally over. They cleared the gutters out, so everything went back to normal.
And as that storm swept in yesterday, the KOIN 6 weather team was sending out a number of very important push alerts. If you want to know about severe weather as soon as we do, download the KOIN 6 app and sign up for weather alerts.
Well, some 2,000 miles away, there is a much more dangerous weather situation unfolding as the eye of Hurricane Florence continues to turn off the Carolina shore, slowly inching closer to land. Now, that storm has weakened a bit and is now a Category 2, but it is getting bigger and is now wider than the state of Montana. And officials say it is still packing a dangerous punch. We want to get to Molelengi and Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
Towns up and down the Carolina coast are almost completely deserted. Officials are warning the few who stayed behind of the dangers ahead.
You put your life at risk by staying. Don't plan to leave once the winds and rain start.
Forecasters predict the storm surge from Hurricane Florence could top 13 feet, enough to send water half a mile inland. Firefighters in Raleigh, North Carolina are going door to door, warning people who live in flood zones.
If the wind's high enough, we're going to have our employees hunkered down safely. We're not going to have them out on the road. It's not safe for them to be out there.
Today's the last chance for residents to get out of harm's way. Officials say when the storm is at its worst, first responders may not be able to help everyone get out of trouble.
That's Myrtle, and I mean, we're right there, so we're going to get, I don't know if you just heard what he said, but he said catastrophic damage to life and property.
Patrick Dunphy and Connor Zaya heeded the warnings. They left their South Carolina college and drove home to Massachusetts.
If that thing hits Myrtle, it wouldn't even be like we're worried about getting back to school. It's going to be like, what are we going to get back to?
Meteorologists say the storm's uncertain path has widened the threat to include parts of Georgia. It's also possible Florence hovers along the coastline, increasing the deadly storm surge. Molelengi, CBS News, Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
Well, Georgia's governor declared a state of emergency after forecasters suggested that Florence may be headed farther south than previously anticipated. Now, wherever Florence goes, the KOIN 6 weather team will keep track of it. Plus, we have live reports from North Carolina coming up at 5:30 and 6:30 this morning. And you can get constantly updated information anytime on KOIN.com. You know, thousands of flights have already been delayed or canceled thanks to Hurricane Florence, and it will likely get worse before it gets better. Now, right now, we do want to get a live look at that flight board from PDX. As of this morning, things appear to be fine. If you are headed anywhere on the East Coast in the next several days, it is a good idea to check the status of your flight before you head to the airport. We never got that live look, but apparently
the flight board looks different than I remember
it. Things are fine.
Yes, that's good news. Over the next few days, also volunteers from the Oregon Humane Society will head to the East Coast to help out folks affected by the hurricane with their pets and farm animals and to help them find temporary shelter.
Some of these people can't take their animals with them or may not be home when things happen, so I know it can be tough for them to feel as prepared. You're never prepared as you could be.
Last year, OHS staff and volunteers were deployed 17 times to help take care of animals, evacuate pets, and transport them to safety. And the Oregon National Guard is on the ground in North Carolina. About a dozen guardsmen left yesterday afternoon. Along with the airmen, the Special Tactics Squadron brought inflatable Zodiac boats, all-terrain vehicles, and mini bikes to aid in their operations. They tell us they're prepared to conduct rescue operations. And
check out this picture. It's a great shot of lightning from our area last night. Alexander Fatal snapped this shot for us as that storm swept through. It was pretty spectacular. And he was out by Mount Scott shooting west into downtown. You can see the skyline there on the left side of the picture. That is amazing. And you know, that lightning and thunder, pretty impressive, but apparently the rain, we saw
a record-breaking rain yesterday in Portland at the airport, and that was incredible. I woke up from just about being asleep at 6 p.m. to rumbles of thunder and that lightning out there yesterday. So it was a pretty active afternoon. Look at our rain totals, 0.82 inches yesterday just in Portland, and around the region down in Salem, only a couple hundredths of an inch. So it was very isolated, these systems that moved through. We saw that daytime heating and that convection that just popped up, those intense showers. So Portland getting a lot. Vancouver, almost half an inch of rain yesterday over a couple of hours. So yeah, very active day yesterday. And again, record-breaking rain set the old record only 0.2 of an inch or so, set back in 1985 for Portland. So that's a new one. Lots of rain did move through yesterday. Here's a look at our current satellite and radar. Still some showers off the coast, but overall, we are fairly dry across the metro area, but foggy out there. Take a look at this view downtown. Very patchy areas of dense fog. We should see this lingering into our morning. today, but otherwise clearing out by the afternoon. 54 degrees at the moment, a dew point there 53, so we're very saturated outside, and again that fog in certain areas out towards Vancouver as well. You can see that fog too. So temperatures in the late morning in the upper 50s. We'll see temperatures today ending in the upper 60s. Still a chance for some isolated showers throughout the afternoon, but that active weather is mostly moving eastward. So we'll keep a lookout for those showers, but also more on Hurricane Florence in my full forecast in just a bit. Back to you guys.
3.5 times the rain record. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
It is 4:40 and KOIN 6 News is just getting going this Thursday morning.
Yeah, the battle and battleground far from over. Right on the other side of the break, we'll break down the latest move by the school board to try and force striking teachers back into the classroom.
Welcome back. There will be no school again for battleground students today.
Last night, the school board passed a resolution to take legal action to address the work stoppage. Now, the board wants a judge to force the teachers back to work. The district's teachers are the only ones in Southwest Washington still on strike.
It was a very difficult decision for the school board. Nobody wanted to go in that direction. I think we all were really trying to avoid this and hoping that the bargaining process would work itself out. But we're at a point where we need to get our kids back to school.
We see this as a distraction to what's really happening. In order to get that tentative agreement, bargaining has to happen, and the only agreement will happen at the bargaining table. This is just a distraction, a scare tactic to slow down the process of us getting that agreement and getting back in the classroom.
The district also says the teachers could also forfeit their September paychecks if they don't return to work by the 17th. That's Monday. KOIN 6 will continue tracking developments in this story. Be sure to download the KOIN 6 app for your smartphone and sign up for news alerts. And of course, we'll let you know when that strike ends as soon as we know.
Well, today crews will head out into the Mount Hood wilderness with the hopes of tracking down the cougar that killed a Gresham woman. The attack happened on the Hunchback Trail near Zigzag. Crews found Diana Bober's body there some 10 days after she vanished. Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says the rugged terrain will make it harder to find the cougar, but they'll use dogs to track it and then use DNA to make sure they've killed the right cat.
When they got there, we found some very steep and rugged terrain. This attack happened on Hunchback Mountain, on the Hunchback Mountain Trail, which is, I describe it as a knife ridge. And so this is a very steep country, and the trail's right on top of the ridge.
Some of the trails will remain closed in the area as the hunt for the cougar continues.
Well, experts say there are thousands of big cats roaming the Oregon wilderness. And if you see one, here are some rules to help you survive an encounter. The biggest, most important rule is don't run. Face the cat and keep eye contact, and make yourself look bigger, and make sure you leave the cougar away to get out of the area. Also, be sure to avoid hiking at dawn and dusk. That's when cougars are most active. It's also recommended you hike with a partner or in groups. It is 4:46. You're watching KOIN 6 News.
And coming up, another check on Hurricane Florence and Tropical Storm Olivia. We'll be right back.
KOIN 6 News this morning starts right now with this weather alert.
We want to take you back now to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. The outer bands of Hurricane Florence have begun to lash the North Carolina coast. Official landfall is expected to be around 11 p.m. our time tonight. Experts say because of the massive size of this thing, it's likely many places will see hurricane force winds starting later this morning, and they could last until Saturday morning.
And a much different story in the Pacific, where Tropical Storm Olivia fizzled out for the most part as it crossed over the Hawaiian Islands. Now, the storm did wash out some roads and cause some landslides, and it knocked out power to several hundred homes, but thankfully no reports of any injuries, so that is good news. For
Definitely
sure.
good news. And we've seen Hurricane Florence also downgraded a bit too, but
yes,
this thing is
still a massive impact, so don't let that fool anybody. Hurricane Florence now a Category 2, but still, we're going to see those winds really hitting the coast as early as this morning and into tonight, and then that rain's going to push in, and that storm surge, probably the biggest impact that we are watching. That storm surge up about 13 feet for some areas along the coast of North Carolina, even South Carolina, so we are watching watching that. And again, these impacts can start as early as this morning and linger all the way into the weekend. So there's a storm track now. It looks like it's going to hit or make landfall in North Carolina, but it will dive south a bit and move upward towards Kentucky, also Virginia affected. So again, this is a big storm, and we're going to see lots of flooding as rain dumps over that region. In our area yesterday, lots of rainfall and some lightning, some rumbles of thunder. We saw a pretty active afternoon yesterday. Take a look at this photo here sent in by Alexander. Thank you for sharing that with us. But an incredible photo here. We got some pretty heavy cells and some record-breaking rainfall. Almost 0.8 of an inch here, almost an inch of rain in Portland yesterday. And again, very isolated rainfall. Take a look at our totals here in Portland compared to down in Salem. Not much. So we did see those cells very isolated roaming through in Vancouver. Almost 1/2 inch of rain. So again, these were record-breaking rainfall numbers here. The old record, I think, set back in 1985 there at the Portland airport. So here is that low system just off the coast. That threw us a bunch of energy. And with that daytime heating yesterday, we popped up those thunderstorms and those rolled through. As of now, we're seeing most of that moisture still out there, very foggy, but that energy starting to move eastward. So today, not looking at much of an active afternoon. We'll still see that daytime heating causing some pop-up showers through today, but overall, not as active as yesterday. Here's a look closer in. We are cloudy out there and foggy for much of the Portland metro area. Very patchy, dense areas of fog. Some showers off the coast there near Cannon Beach. Showers now lingering on the coast, but for us, we are dry here. And again, record-breaking rain, 0.82 inches yesterday. The old record, just a few tenths of an inch set back in September of 1985. Here's a look outside. Foggy. Temperatures in the mid-50s. We're seeing a dew point right there as well. So we are moist, very saturated at the ground level outside, and very patchy fog has set in because of that. Here's our forecast heading into today, this afternoon. Still a chance to see some pop-up showers there, and in those pop-up showers we may still see some heavy downpours. So we'll be watching those totals as we head into the afternoon. As we look at the long-term forecast into the weekend, we'll still keep a chance for scattered showers all the way into Friday and then Saturday as well. Rain totals again maybe up to about 1/2 inch as we head towards the weekend. So we are still watching out for those scattered showers here. Here's our 7-day forecast. Temperatures near 70 degrees for today. Mostly cloudy skies, a few sun breaks, but then again, some pop-up showers out there too. By the weekend, still keeping those showers in play. Temperatures mainly staying in the upper 60s to about 70 as we head towards next week, but Monday, looking at getting that sunshine back in there for us.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah, pretty consistent and cooler.
I like the fog out there this morning.
I know, it's kind of nice.
It was kind of eerie. You don't like it? Ooh, I got a little shimmy from Trevor.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Time for the Trevor shimmy. Yeah.
Always
when you
time.
mention fog. Yes. Okay. Hey, thanks to the rain we've been getting, burn bans are being lifted in our area. Recreational and agricultural fires are now allowed in Marion County. And as of today, recreational fires are allowed again in Lincoln County, but not in Yachats or on Oregon Department of Forestry lands.
Well, coming up, a busy street gets a new name. Just ahead, we'll tell you about the Portland tribute to a civil rights icon.
Welcome back. You're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
13 blocks of Southwest Stark Street are now Southwest Harvey Milk Street in honor of the iconic LGBTQ civil rights leader and activist.
Back in June, city leaders unanimously approved that name change. The stretch of Stark was picked because of the surrounding neighborhood's historic connection to the LGBTQ community.
It's an excellent thing to see, and it's a wonderful cause. Being somebody who is HIV positive, this goes a lot towards helping me in many things.
Harvey Milk was assassinated in 1978, an event that led to a broader push for civil rights. Today, the Portland Bureau of Transportation will hold a scooter safety event at the intersection of Southwest Broadway and Oak from 10:30 to 1. Representatives from all 3 scooter companies operating in Portland, Bird, Lime, and Skip, will also give away over 500 free helmets on a first-come, first-served basis. Have you noticed more people wearing helmets on those?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this will help.
Hopefully.
Okay. It's 4:56. You're watching KOIN 6 News.
Well, coming up, accused Max stabber Jeremy Christian heading back into court. Coming up, we're live with what we expect to happen today.
And, of course, we have our eye on Hurricane Florence. We'll check the storm's path as part of your weather, traffic, and top stories right after the break.